Well, it's time now for the Prep Spotlight presented by the Jacobs Insurance Agency, local, independent, and trusted. Owosso, just a fantastic game on Friday night, heard right on the Castle Z92.5, 38-35. Casey and Bart really painted the picture, but you were right down there on the sidelines. We have the head coach, Ron Tyner. Let's start with that big win against Lake Fenton on Friday night at historic Wilman Field. Just some of your thoughts on that awesome high school football game.
That's I feel like everywhere I've gone since Friday, somebody has said something to me. One of my neighbors put a sign out in their yard. I mean, it's been pretty cool. But, I think for me, the big thing on Friday night was, they start off fast. I mean, they go chew a bunch of clock. They have a great first drive. They go down and score. Our first two plays on offense were kind of miscues. We had some miscommunication there, and then we hit a big one on third down to Braden. I was, first of all, at the beginning of the game, so impressed because in the past, right, and before I took over, the whole thing was like, okay, don't quit. Like, things aren't going to go your way, right? That's part of life. It's going to happen. How you respond, right, is who you are. And I was just so happy with how our kids responded. They just kept playing. They kept competing. It was back and forth. I have great respect for Lake Fenton. Their head coach is a good friend of mine. They do things the right way. They're first-class kids. But our guys just kept chipping away and believed in each other and believed in their own abilities and found a way to win, right? And it doesn't matter if it's 1 point or 100. As long as you got one more than the bad guys, life is good.
Oh, yeah. Hey, a win's a win, right? Especially
Yes.
when you're rebuilding a program, and the three of us we're three Corona alums, so
Wow. Nobody's perfect.
That's all I was gonna say. With this question, I'm not taking a shot at Owosso. But other than the 2020 season, when everyone made the playoffs, Owosso hasn't made the playoffs since 2012. So it's been a little bit of a rough go for the Trojans.
A little bit.
Yeah, before we started recording,
it's been tough sledding.
Yeah, you said it wasn't a question of if, it was more a question of when. You have confidence in your program, you have confidence in your kids. Can you just kind of maybe elaborate on that even though Owosso has been through a little bit of a tough time, you could see it. You had a vision. You just had to kind of get things going, and now it looks like you got things going.
Yeah, no, I think we have, and my vision isn't necessarily a place. My vision is how you do things and how you operate. So, I grew up in Michigan. I grew up on the west side of Lansing. I went to Grand Ledge, which is one of the premier Division I programs in mid Michigan. And when I was there, we were pretty regularly a top 10 team in the state, and we just had a way of doing things. You showed up. You worked hard. You didn't miss anything. You enjoyed being a part of a team. There was no complaining. It wasn't about you. It was about the team. It was about the program. It's more important than anything else. And I was really lucky when I got hired here that Kevin Moore was on staff. Kevin is a Grand Ledge guy as well. His dad was actually my very first football coach my freshman year of high school. And so it was really great to have somebody that really saw eye to eye with me on every detail, top to bottom of the program. And so we just took that whole process of doing things the right way. Okay. You work hard, you handle yourself in the classroom, and you just get better every day. And at some point that turns into wins.
As Matt kind of alluded to, I mean, you said it basically fine. I mean, it was tough times there really since 2012. I mean, I think I've said maybe on this podcast, I thought maybe it was the worst job, that there was in the state. It felt like nobody could win there. Now you're here, you're 3-0. I mean, how excited are you for these 3 games coming up? I mean, an undefeated Clio team, then you have the rival against Corona, and then obviously you just take it 1 week at a time, and then Goodrich at the end of that. I mean, it's got to be. Sure. Is there a better time to be at Owosso football head coach and inside?
Yeah, no, it's good living right now, dude. It is good living, man. We worked really hard. We've developed some fantastic kids, and largely, guys. I think a lot of people don't really understand how hard it's been. But man, the reward to be 3-0, and we started off, that way last year too. We just kind of fizzled out in week 4 and found a way to come back at the end of the year and post a winning season. And now is about just taking it 1 week at a time and winning that week and not getting ahead of ourselves, not getting the situation bigger than it is. But,
Right.
I don't think we had a very good practice today, to be honest with you. So I chewed their butts a little bit tonight, and because in the past we've played some teams where we haven't taken them as seriously, and hasn't gone our way. So we tried to correct that. And what's different now is we're not just playing to win a game, right? Right. We're playing for the pride in our school, the pride in our community, and my thing is like our kids have a chance to turn the tide here long term and make this a really, really good program and give our community something that we can rally around, and our community something that we can be proud of. And we just keep working. And obviously last year, we're so excited, and the kids were so excited to be 5-4, and that's a great accomplishment,
Yeah.
and to have a winning season. But I want to get to a point where we're disappointed with 5-4.
Right.
Right.
you
Well,
know
you talked about your background in Grand Ledge, and
hmm
obviously you're in your fourth year now, so your program building, and now you got some light at the end of the tunnel right now that you're looking
sure.
at, right? How tough was it the first couple of years where you're playing young kids, with the notion that you might not win games, but they're going to get that experience and be ready to go in a
Yeah, no,
couple of
I
years?
mean, and we went through that when I coached in college. At some places we played some young guys, and then they got older, and then we got really, really good.
Hmm.
The best thing about a freshman is he'll be a sophomore next year, right? And the best thing about the sophomore is he'll be a junior, and so on. And then you get to their senior year, and you're like crying. You're like, "Gosh, don't go, man. I love you. I don't want you to go."
Yeah.
Um, I think you just have faith in the process, and as long as we're getting better every day and every year, and we see improvements, then that's good. I mean, I'm like anybody else. Do I wish we won 6 or 7 games last year? Do I think we could have? Yes, but we didn't. We
Yeah.
we got to appreciate the progress we made, and find a way to make that up in our off season. But uh, our kids that have played a lot have developed really, really well in our program. I mean, you look at our seniors, we're thin. Like I only got 4 seniors,
Yeah.
but 3 of them are 4-year varsity starters,
Right.
and they're dudes now. I mean,
Yeah.
they are dudes. One is our quarterback, Liam, and then Carter McCulka, our offensive tackle, and Ben Neese, an offensive guard for us.
What can you tell us about those two guys, and then obviously some of the other key cogs you have that are really turning the tide for Owosso? I mean, it sounds like Liam Patrick is a speedster, absolutely dynamic with his legs. I mean, Carter
Yeah,
McCullough committed to Eastern Michigan. I mean, what can you tell us about some of those key guys who are really, getting it done on the field?
I've talked about Liam like this before. Liam is the most competitive kid that I have ever coached in my career, ever. And I mean, I've coached college All-Americans.
Right.
I coached the, NCAA Division III Player of the Year. Nobody is as competitive as that kid, and he's just flat out electric. I was talking to Coach Borski over at Lake Fenton in pregame, and um, Liam's first varsity snaps were against Lake Fenton, and I mean, even then, like, man, he got in there and some stuff started happening, and it was good for the Trojans. I just feel like Liam, anytime he touches the ball, we have a chance to score
Yeah.
anytime. And then obviously Carter, I mean, he's a big hombre now. But he is tough, he is hardworking, he's a fantastic leader. He checks every single box that any college coach wants, and every single guy that's come in the building to see him, whether it was Michigan State, Northwestern, Eastern Michigan, Harvard, Yale, doesn't matter, right? Every single coach said the same thing, like, dang, coach, that dude is a finisher. Like he just plays to the echo of the whistle.
Yeah. I mean, if you need a lot of good players, but experience is such a big thing. I mean,
Sure.
yes, you need elite players to win, of course, but when you've got third and fourth year varsity starters that are your leaders, your best players, I mean,
Yeah.
that just sets the
Makes me
tone
look
for
like I
the
know
whole
what I'm
program.
doing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's awesome, and it's no surprise that you're turning things around. I can tell. Just this is my first time talking to you, just by hearing you talk about how you run your programming. I mean, I think you're going to continue to build things there. You mentioned the community earlier, and again, we're from Corona, so we understand that area. The
Yeah.
Durans, the Chestanines, the Ovidelsis, those towns in our area that when the football team's rolling, I mean, that community it gets behind there. And we've talked about historic Wilman Field a number of times on this podcast, and how it's one of the coolest venues in all of Michigan. I mean, especially when it's a packed house. I mean, it's such a great stadium. Can you talk about that, playing there, and then maybe just the community and how you're seeing now that, they're seeing you got your program going, and how big it is for the community to be supporting your kids?
Well, one of our assistant coaches kind of put up the best. We were talking at practice. Brad Riglow, who played on that 2012 team that we had, he's like, dude, man, I look back and like the stands were full. Like people that usually chuck the deuce at halftime, they're still there, and everybody's into it. Everybody's invested. It's an awesome place to play. Like literally every single coach that comes into Wilman is like, dude, this is so cool. I love this place. Right. And for me, like I've learned to love it. I was, when I was these kids' age, I was pretty spoiled. I went to a school that had a brand new building and a brand new athletic facility and brand new everything. So, you get to appreciate it, and it's cool because you get to see what it means to the kids and how much that turf and that house means to them. I love that part of it. And in terms of the community part, it's to be honest with you, the community part of football is way different than probably when we grew up, because like there was no schools of choice. Like I roll past signs going to work every day of kids that play in communities that aren't Owosso. And I think what we're doing now is we're saying like, hey, you don't got to go anywhere else. You can stay here. You can get a fantastic education. We can develop you as a football player. You can compete at a high level, and we're going to get you opportunities to play in college if that's what you want to do. But to see the people that have waited for this place to be good for so long, it's just been super cool, because it's like this weight lifted off their shoulders. They're like, gosh, it's finally here. We're finally what everybody thought that we could be.
Yep.
What's going to be the key going into this week against Clio? I mean, I watched their film. I know Ted has their quarterback stats are at the ready. He can list them up. I'm sure you know them.
Yeah, he runs around real fast.
Pretty dynamic. What's your early scouting report on Clio?
I mean, when we're on defense, it's pretty clear. Like you got to control the quarterback, and you got to count for number 8, right? I mean, he can run around and do some things up front. I mean, I think we're really hard to match up with up front. I mean, we've got big guys, we've got long guys, we've got physical guys. We have to, just like last week, right, contain the quarterback. If we contain the quarterback and we keep number 8 under control, we're going to be just fine. Offensively, I mean, we are what we are, man, and we don't try to hide it. Like we don't run a bunch of different stuff. Like we're going to run what we run, and we're going to out formation you to get ourselves in good leverages and good positions to be successful. So I think we match up very favorably on both sides of the ball. But like I said, right, we got to handle that quarterback, and they're sitting there saying the same thing, right? Like they're like, okay, like we got to handle 6, and that's what it was last night or last Friday, excuse me. I mean, it was, in my opinion, we got a ton of great players in this league, but in my opinion, it was the 2 best quarterbacks in the league that played last Friday, and I think both of our game plans were the same. Like, let's control that guy. Let's control the other team's quarterback.
Well, we'll let you out of here with this. We'll go back to that game for just a second last week. I mean, I was not there. I was listening to it on the radio, and I was not missing a beat. I mean, it was tense all the way down the final 4 minutes. I mean, you kick a field goal. Braden Reed kicks a field goal with 4 minutes to go. My first question is, before we let you go, was there a second thought about maybe going for it, or were you going to kick it all along? That's question 1.
Oh, no, there's a second thought. And, one thing about me as a coach is I talk to my assistants and I take input. And again, I'm really, really close with Coach Moore, just because we grew up in the same place and played for the same guy and think exactly the same way. And so we really thought about going for it on 4th down. I mean, again, you put the ball in number 6's hands, and anything can happen. We're really good up front, but just decided, we'd go ahead and kick it and play defense. Jared Jackson, who played on those really good teams that Tom Harkema had as our defensive coordinator, and has done a fantastic job with our defense. So, we had faith in them that they could handle the situation, and ultimately they did. I mean, we kicked the field goal and kicked off to them, and they scooted down the field pretty dang quick. But we
that was
found a
going to
way
be
to
my
make
part two
plays.
question. Sorry to interrupt. That was going to be my part two question. What was going through your mind when they took it downfield and you finally close it out with an interception with just a couple seconds to go?
There's so much going through my mind, and like one of the kids kind of said, like, Coach, like, you weren't excited on the sideline in the fourth quarter, like when big things were happening. It's like, because I mean, when you're the head dude in charge, like, you gotta be thinking about every situation that could happen, and how are we going to respond? What's our answer going to be? But I was a little worried, I ain't gonna lie to you. But I think they mowed her down, and they threw a great ball into the end zone. It was in their kid's hands, and our DB batted it down to give us another down to play. And I mean, they ran a running back wheel that was delayed out of the backfield, and Evan Krofchek just did a fantastic job playing under control and trusting his teammates to pick up the guy that was going over the top of him and rallying down to the wheel to make the pick. And you're just so excited for the kids, and so excited for the coaches and everybody that put all the hard work into that, to see them be successful. It's just pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, 3-0 Owosso High Trojans for head coach Ron Tyner. It sounds pretty good. Why don't you take a little 3-point podcast karma with you over there to Clio? Make it 4-0, and
there you go.
We'll be checking out the Trojans down the road. Good luck to you Friday night at Clio. Battle of 2 3-0 teams, man. Doesn't get much better than that, Coach.
No, you're
Thanks,
good.
Coach.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.